Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic and a puzzle by Tavaritz, who sent us a number of puzzles, and his turn comes up today for a feature. This one is called Thin Blue Lines. That puts me in mind of, oh gosh, I suppose Rowan Atkinson's very light-hearted police sitcom must be 20 years old. That was called Thin Blue Line. Anyway, there are a lot of thin blue lines in this puzzle, and we will get to the rules in a moment. The grid is covered in lines. You can get line Sudoku if you want. That is one of our many apps which are available on the links under the video. And the latest is Fog of War Sudoku, but line Sudoku has lots of, I don't know if it has any lines with these rules, which are very simple rules. But we also have killer Sudoku as well, if you like, the killer aspects of this puzzle. But there are lots of those apps, and they are really good fun. As is the Sudoku Hunt on Patreon, Blobs' marvellous Nurikabi puzzle pack, which is available there. We've also got other things on Patreon like crosswords and connections videos, lots of puzzles. Do check it out. And there's many good things in our merchandise, such as our new 2025 shirt. That is the year of the secret squared is the slogan. If you know what that means, you know what it means. It may be that I will end up mentioning the secret during this puzzle, and then you'll be able to work out why 2025 is a special year if you don't already know. And what else we got? We've got SVEN'S Sudoku Pad. They're all on the links under the video, but the first link there in the description field is to this puzzle, Thin Blue Lines by Tavaritz, who I think writes to us from Finland, so the colours are perfect for the flag. I'm not 100% sure about that, so don't go nap and quote me. Anyway, the rules are really very straightforward and simple to read. Normal Sudoku rules apply. That means 1 to 9 will go in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. In a cage, digits don't repeat, and the cages show their sums, so those 3 have to add up to 18. I don't think there are any in this puzzle where they could repeat under normal Sudoku rules. And along a line, digits do not repeat. That's all the lines are doing. So along this line, there are no repeat digits. Give it a try on that first link under the video. If you fancy testing your skills, you can check the video length to see how hard it is. I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. So, well, look at the lines. No. Well, yeah, okay. First of all, look at the lines. They're all quite long. You can see that this one traverses the whole grid on the diagonal, so that's 9 cells long. If you actually count any of these lines, I now know you will count up to 9 cells. I have not physically counted every one, but they all look quite long, so they could be 9 cells. But the really important point that I've just noted is that there are no cells in the grid that don't have a line in. If one or two of these lines were only 8 or 7 cells long, because the grid is 9 by 9, 81 cells, you would have a square or two left over, because one 8-cell line, if all the others were 9 cells, would mean there'd be one white cell left over. And there aren't any leftover cells, and the lines are all quite long, so I can now tell you, without having specifically counted them, that there are 9 lines, and they all have length 9. And therefore, they all have the digits 1 to 9 on. And they kind of act like extra regions in the puzzle, which is a sort of Sudoku variant that we sometimes do. Anyway, that's enough chatting about the generalities. Every one of these lines has all the digits 1 to 9 on, once each. This cage, 24 in 3 cells. Those of you familiar with killer Sudoku will know that is a 987 cage. You may also know that this one, those are the maximum 3 digits. That's why that has to be 24. If you were to put them in this cage, there's 1 cell left over, and it would have to be a 5. Now you might be wondering, is that the only combination for 29 in 4 cells? And it is. And it'd be lovely if I could explain to you why there can't be a 6 in the cage, because basically you'd have increased that minimum digit by 1, but you couldn't reduce any of the other digits by 1 without creating a repeat. It's probably not a great explanation, but it's true. So those are 9875. Those are the only giveaway cages. These 5 cages have 2 possible fills. The 8 and 9 cage have 3 possible fills. Okay, if I was a mad pencil marker, the sort of person that their friend would call pencil mark, I would write 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 into those cells in the central box, because 5, 7, 8, 9 are gone. Now, this one can't be a 1 because it's an 11 cage. That would need to be a 10. This is now 9, 8, 7 or 5. This one can't be a 4 in the 8 cage because its other digit would have to be another 4. So this digit is 7, 6, 5 or 2. I really have gone mad on the pencil marking today. It's not very likely to help. Okay, what do we do next? I mean, if I'm, okay, let's go crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the 5 cages, 2 of whose cells are connected by a line and can't be the same digit. Now, is that going to mean that these 2 cells end up being the same flavour of 5 cage or different ones, or is it going to have no bearing on them at all? I really don't know, and I certainly don't know yet. Oh, there's some geometry, isn't there? Right, this is, I'm going to colour the cells of this region yellow, this line yellow. So that is a set of the digits 1 to 9. Right. This cage, no, box, let's colour that grey. That is another set of the digits 1 to 9 by basic Sudoku rules. If you eliminate these cells which are in both sets, this is the most basic form of set theory there is. It's kind of the law of leftovers. If you eliminate those, from each of those grey and yellow sets of 1 to 9, they must have been the same 6 digits you took out. You're left with the same 3 digits. So let's recolour the greys as yellow. Those 3 yellow digits are those 3 yellow digits. Ah, and where do they go on this line? They don't go in box 3 because they've already appeared there. So they go here. Can we keep extending yellowness around the grid? I don't think so. Now, 18. 18's an interesting total. What's going on here? And this is quite high. Surely we must have... How many big digits do we need in an 18 cage? Oh no, here's the really simple way of looking at this row. Oh, that's lovely, actually. Right. If that was 9, 8 or 7, and obviously those are 3 of the 4 possibilities we have labelled, then this would be a set of 7, 8, 9, and no digit in this cage could be higher than 6. 4, 5, 6 would be the maximum. They only add up to 15. That's no good. So it all breaks if this is 7, 8 or 9. Therefore, we've found a 5. That's our first digit. This is a 6 to make up the 11 sum. We can take 6 out of all of those cells. No, we can do much better than that. This cage now is an 8 cage that cannot contain 5 or 6. So the 3 combinations that could have gone into an 8 cage, I think I mentioned that there are 3, are 7, 1, that's still possible, 6, 2, that's no longer possible, and 5, 3. So this is a 7, 1 cage, and we know the order from our pencil marking. So we are in business here. Now, I'm probably meant to be considering the lines that we're creating. So that 5 can be ruled off the rest of its line. Oh, 6 isn't trying to appear anywhere else on the line. Okay, let's go, that didn't seem to be very profitable. Let's go back to the 18 cage. We're allowed 1 high digit from 987 now. We're allowed a 6 and a 4 as the other maximum numbers. We can't have 2 high digits from 789 or we'd break this cage. So we're allowed 1 of them. We're allowed a 6 and a 4 as the maximum, which add up to 10. So the minimum for the high digit is 8. So there is, I don't know how to mark this, there is either an 8 or a 9 in this cage. Actually, there is definitely a 6. Yeah, if there was a 9 in this cage, the only way to make up the other two cells, you'd have 8, 7 here, you'd have to have 6 and 3. If there was an 8 in this cage, you'd have 7, 9 here, you'd have 6 and 4. And that's it. That's all we can do. 8, 6, 4 or 9, 6, 3. And the rest of the cells in the row can't use 9, 8, 7, 6 or 5. So they are from 1, 2, 3, 4. Why do I get the feeling that we're going to get a whole passel of low digits all around this puzzle? This line, oh, no, it's got 3 of those low digits on. Right, where are we now? The 9 cage still has 3 possible entries. Sorry, I'm looking for something to do, honestly. High digits on the long diagonal. We've got 1 or 2 there, we've got 1 there. This can't be high. This can't be very high, but it could be a 5. The trouble is this can be high. Okay, I've got oh, there's a 1 on that line, so that can't be 1. Well, all right, that puts a 1 in one of these cells in row 3. This actually may be the sort of way we have to go about this. Yeah, it's strange. I don't know. I don't know yet what we're meant to be doing. This line, I haven't really looked at that at all. Yellow digits, they weren't that helpful. Oh, we've got a couple of confined cage, what am I going to call them? Digits here. Lines. That's what I'm going to call a line today. I'm going to call it a line. Imaginative, but there you go. Right, these 3 regions must contain 3 sets of the digits 1 to 9. Obviously, one of those sets is on this line, so I'm going to remove that. Now in pink, I've got 2 sets of the digits 1 to 9. There's another set on this line. I'm going to remove that. Now in pink, I have 1 set of the digits 1 to 9. That must be right. But in this other colour, which I will call orange, no, I will call green, I have a set of the digits 1 to 9 because that's a line. Now I'm going to eliminate the common ones to those 2 sets of the digits 1 to 9. And look, we're left with those 2 green, and they have to be the same leftovers as these 2 pink cells, which must therefore be selected, well, not only selected from 1, 2, 3, 4, but must include a 1. And look at the line there on. That's beautiful. This is definitely a deliberate step in this puzzle because it's so pretty. I think it was the physicist Paul Dirac said famously, you can tell if an equation in physics is going to be right if it has beauty. And this is beautiful, so it must be on the solution path, I think. So what we've just discovered by marking those 2 pink cells the same digit possibilities as the green cells is that we found all the 1, 2, 3, 4s on this new line. And everything else on it is high. Now, there's more than that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 go in this group. Firstly, one of them must be 6 because that doesn't appear anywhere else on the line. Secondly, 1 had to be in a pink cell because it's in one of these 2 greens, which are the same digits. So I don't know which of these is a 1. One of them is a 1, but that is not a 1 now. And in the 5 cage, that means that's not a 4 in the corner. I thought this was going to do something. It hasn't really, but this is very interesting. And And we may be able to extend. Yeah, we've got a similar line here that might be another magic line. I'm going to have a look at that in a moment. I'm just seeing if I'm missing anything from what we've done. Okay, I'm going to leave the green and pink in. What I'm going to take out now is the yellow. So do me a favour and remember those yellow shapes, because I might be restoring them later. But what I'm going to do first is colour these three boxes, boxes 2, 3 and 6, blue. That are, because they are three boxes and each box has to have a set of the digits 1 to 9, that's 3 sets of the digits 1 to 9. Now there's one of those sets on this line up here, I'm removing that. There's one of them on this line here, I'm removing that. The leftovers, these 9 cells, contain the digits 1 to 9. So does this line, which shares a lot of the cells. So both blue and orange are sets of 1 to 9, and if I again eliminate the common cells, we are left with those 2 orange cells contain the same digits as those 2 blue cells, and it's even more helpful than on the green and pink side of the grid. One of these 2 has to be a 5, and we know it's not there, so I can write that in. This 2, 3 or 4 is that digit. So on this side of the grid, I'm changing the colour scheme. Let's get rid of those colours. These 2 are now the same digit. So I'm making them both orange, but I'm remembering, this might get tricky, because I want to remember that over this side of the grid, the 2 pinks are not the same as each other. I mean, they are on the same line, so are the 2 greens, but they represent, the 2 greens represent 2 digits that are the 2 pink digits. So yes, I'm doing different things with the colouring on different sides of the grid. It may be crazy. Anyway, do you remember where those yellow shapes were? I think they were here, here, and here. Now that means this 2, 3 or 4 is one of our 3 yellow digits. So that must also be yellow. I'm not going to colour it yet, but I'm going to bear it in mind. I don't know what to do with that. I still feel that these yellows are going to be important, but I don't quite know why. And maybe there's an equivalent of yellows over here somewhere. I don't know. Okay, let's have a little think around. Did this 5 do anything? Yes, it removed 5 from those cells. The 5 on this line is now fixed. It's got to be there. This cage has the last high digit in the box because it needs a 9, 8 or 7 in it, and this is therefore low, which is no surprise in a 9 cage. 7, 8, 9 are done on the diagonal line. That's useful. So where does 5 go on this diagonal line? Not there. It's got to be there in box 1, and this is low. It can't be a 1 or a 2 actually in a 12 cage. That is 3 or 4 going with 8 or 9. So 7 is in that group of cells on this line, and that is not a 7. Now look, that's glorious. There's only one place for 7 in this row, and it's there. So that's not 7. 6 in box 1 is in one of those 2 cells. That's gorgeous for this reason. What that is telling us is that 6 is not a yellow digit. So where's the 6 that has to be in this box? It's not a yellow digit. There's our clue. It's got to be there. That's so neat. 6 is, I was going to put it here, but it's not a yellow digit. It's in one of those. 6 in box 2 is in one of these, which I could also have worked out by thinking about this line and 6 not being a yellow digit on it. Oh, it's not there. We've got a 6 here. Isn't it odd that we're getting 5, 6s and 7s put in the grid? You would have thought that the extreme digits, 1, 2, 3 and 9, 8, were the ones that you would get a handle on first, as usual. Right, 5's in one of those 2 cells by Sudoku. Annoyingly, this could be 6. Right, one of these pink cells was a 1. I mean, I know that means this digit is not a 1, but I'm not pencil marking that. I'm not crazy. I'm a bit crazy. 1, 2, 3, or 4 goes with 6 here. Actually, take a brief note of this fact. The 4 low digits in this box, which are confined to these cells, 2 of them add up to 5, and that's those 2. The other 2 must add up to 5 as well, because 1, 2, 3, 4 add up to 10. So they are a kind of pair in this set, one of them there and one of them there. If I get to the point where I want to colour 1, 2, 3, 4, that'll be interesting. Oh, look, this is lovely. Where does this go in box 5? This cell that I'm in here sees these 3 cells. It does 2 of them on the horizontal, that's just ordinary Sudoku, and 1 of them on the line. So, given that this is 1, 2, 3, or 4, the only place for it in box 5, where 1, 2, 3, 4 are there, is here. So that is our 1. We've found it. Now that's quite good. I can uncolour those cells and recombinate these 2 as the same colour. So I'm going to make this one pink for contrast. This now is the same as that and can't be a 1 anymore because it's on this line basically. Now there is a 1 in these 3 cells by Sudoku. Oh, 7 has come off that line and is therefore placed in box Jobby, box 5. One of those is a 7. Oh, it's tempting to think 7 can't be a yellow digit, but I don't know that yet. Five can't be in this 9 cage. A 9 cage has 3 possible makeups, a 3-cell 9 cage. 1, 2, 6. 1, 3, 5, 2, 3, 4. Now the 1, 3, 5 one has been ruled out. This is either 1, 2, 6 or 2, 3, 4, and there must be a 2 in it somewhere. Now I'm dangerously marking across, corner marking across boxes, which sometimes leads me into trouble, but hey ho. Oh, okay. I said that the 2 digits up here added up, the 2 low digits add up to 5. That means 4 is not an option in those cells because this one can't be a 1. So where does 4 go on this long line? Is that? No, it's not very interesting. Right, can we spot some other lovely bit of logic somewhere? Tempted to say where does that go in the middle box because it can't go in either of those cells, but it can go in either of those. 8, 9 pair there. No, I'm struggling a bit now. Let's... Well, maybe that idea about colouring the low digits wasn't the worst idea in the world. I don't know. Is it going to go very far? Let's see what happens. Let's colour all 4 of the low digits. I don't know where to start this exercise. I've got 2 coloured digits in column 6. This line is interesting, I think, this long diagonal. Oh, maybe this isn't worth doing. Now, I think I need more information before I colour. I'm sorry, it's weird, isn't it? I just don't think it's right. 5, I've just noticed, is confined to one of those digits. It's not a yellow digit. So it's in one of those 3 cells. Didn't I think of something earlier that was also in one of the, probably it was the same thought. No, gosh, I don't know quite what to do next. Maybe I haven't thought much about this line, because I haven't got many digits on it, if I'm honest. Right, here's a thought. 7 in these 3 boxes. I don't even know where this thought is going, so so hear me out. 7 on this line is clearly yeah, this is interesting. Okay. Right, here's the simpler way of seeing it. That 7 says that these cells aren't 7. So 7 in box 4, because of that 7 and that 7, is now confined to one of those 2 cells. And that's all I'm getting out of that. That's going to put a 7 up here in a useless position in box 6. I had a much longer, convoluted way of proving that one of those was a 7, but it turned out to be the same. Right, I'm sorry, I'm not getting anything done at the moment. That's annoying for me as much as for you. Those 2 yellow cells, can they include a 1? No. If that was a 1, the yellow cell that was a 1 in box 3 would be there because of the pencil marking. That would require a 3rd 1 to be in one of these cells, and none of them are pencil marked as possible 1s. So that is not a 1. There is no 1 in yellow. Actually, I knew that from box 2. I could have done that much more simply. And it doesn't really get anything done, does it? What are these other yellow cells? So on this line, they're not 6, which is up there. They're not 7. How low or high are they? One of them is a 3 or a 4, and one of them is an 8 or a 9, but that could be the 3 or 4 one. I should really I should extend the colouring of these low digits. I mean, I think that's somehow going to be important. Maybe I could start. Yeah, okay. 1 is not pink. I'm going to start colouring low digits in box 5. 1 is not pink because pink is 2, 3 or 4. So let's make 1 green. This digit blue, this one red, and this one orange. And I'm just going to see if I can extend that. We know that 1 is green, so that's the 1. Now, can we extend this anywhere? Have I just gone mad? Probably have. Green or red, orange. So this one sees all 4 colours, and it can't be low, therefore. That's quite interesting. It also can't be 6, which is in its row, or 7, which is on its line. So that's 5, 8, or 9. I don't know. This is a bit speculative. I don't know if we're going to get anywhere, but just bear with me while I keep thinking about the possibilities. 1, the green digit, is definitely in one of those 2 cells. This one is green or blue. Does the 9 cage have to... It could have 3 coloured digits if it's 2, 3, 4. Or it could be 6, 2, 1. I don't know. The trouble is this is the only box where I have 2 of the digits adding up to 5. And I think that might be key to getting anything out of my new colour scheme. One of these has to be orange. That's just Sudoku. It's weird. I can't quite make head or tail of what's going on. Sorry. Right. We've got an 8 or a 9 there that must be in that cage in row 3. And that is different from this 8 or 9. Maybe it should be 8 9s that I'm colouring. I don't have so many of them. I don't know quite where to get at this puzzle with. I've just remembered. So I've isolated 5s in one of those cells and 6 as in one of those, which again, it's not all powerful, I have to say. Okay, this line must be doing something and I'm not spotting it. So we worked out these greens and pinks. So the other low digits on these lines are red or blue. Well, no, oh look, this line, it's that simple. This line has got green, blue and pink on it already. The other low digit is red, so I could have coloured. No, hang on. What is pink? I've got 4 different low digit colours here, and pink is not one of them. Oh, I'm losing my reason. Right, let's take back the colour scheme. Let's start with green and pink and this line. Let's start with box 1. We'll do pink, blue. Oh, I see. The trouble is I don't know which is 1. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that green colouring. Let's do pink, blue, red, green up here. Now, on this line, we've got blue and pink already. The other 2 are red and green. Now they both see these 2 colours. So that is now seen by red and green and pink. So that one is blue. And that's an agreement that I haven't had before. I'll tell you what that does. That's good. This one also, by the way, sees red and green and now it sees blue. So that's pink. I'll tell you what that blue did in box 2. Blue is ruled out of those cells by Sudoku. It's ruled out of that cell because it's on the same line as this. So now blue is one of the yellow digits in one of those cells. And it's in one of those 2 cells. And it's 3 or 4, therefore. It's not 2. Well, that's interesting. In this 5 cage, that's now not a 3. That's 1 or 2. Blue is always in yellow, so one of these is blue. It's not on the line where blue already appears. It's there. And it's 3 or 4. Blue is 3 or 4. Right. 4 is either blue or pink. So in box 5, one of those is a 4 and this one isn't. Come on, keep going. This is getting better. Those 3 are not red, so I can place red in this box because they're all on this diagonal line. And now we do know that these are the same flavour. Those add up to 5, these add up to 5. That's blue. Blue is 3 or 4. Red is 1 or 2. And now I've got a 3-4 pair in the box, and this digit is 1 or 2. And these 2 between them are green and pink. And that one sees red, blue and pink. That's green, that's pink. Pink is now 3 or 4. So I can remove 2 from those cells and 3 from that one. Green is 1 or 2. Green and red are 1 and 2. That digit is a 2. But I don't know which of those 2 are green and red yet. That one's also green or red. Now we're getting somewhere now. That is not blue anymore because the corner cell is blue, so that is the high digit, 8 or 9. This is the low digit. Actually, I should still leave that as yellow because yellow is all three of these. Now, that 8 or 9, well, it's going in one of those cells. I honestly don't know. It's still possible that 8 and 9 can both be yellow. Whatever this digit is, it's in one of those two, and then it has to be in one of these three. Oh, this is... Sorry, I don't... You have to be so careful here. I'm trying to reach a conclusion about this digit. It's in one of those two, and then in column 8, it's in one of these three. Now, it could be 8 or 9. It can only be, therefore, one of these pencil mark digits, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 or 9. Well, this cell sees 6 and 7. So it is 3, 4, 8 or 9 again. Now, that 6, I've only just noticed, places 6 in box 9 there. But haven't I got a triple or a quadruple or something here? No, I haven't quite. Botheration. Okay, there are lines though that must be opening up and doing things. This line, 1, 2, 5, 3, 4 pair, 6 on it. One of those is a 7. That's not a 7. 7 can't be yellow in this box. So there's a 7 in one of those 3 cells. We've got a 3, 4 pair in this row. So that's now a 1, 2 pair of green and red again. And on this line, where's pink? It could be there, or else it's up here. Now, either way around, that can't be pink. That's almost interesting, almost very interesting, not quite. Oh, should I be using the red 5 combinations and applying them to the 9 cage? Yes, I should. Yes, absolutely I should. Look, that's gorgeous. Up here, we know that red and blue add up to 5 because the cage says so. So we know that pink and green, the other low digits, must add up to 5. Well, pink and green are now in the 9 cage. If they add up to 5, that digit is a 4. This is going to blow this gaff wide open. That's a 3, that's a 2, and green is a 2. Red is therefore, oh, what are you doing? Red is a 1. And now I can sort of do loads of these colours. So red is a 1, green is a 2. I can't do any more with that. But now blue is a 4 in the cage. Pink is a 3. I've got this 12 cage making that a 9. That's got to be helpful. This digit is now not 4 or 8. It's 3 or 9. This digit is 4. I should have done that. I mean, I can probably finish with the colouring, can't I? It kind of did its job. I can now use those 1s and 2s as numbers. So let's get rid of all the colouring I just did. Red on the low digits anyway. Red, green, pink and blue, because they have now unwound. Beautiful. Right, that whole job, that was the point of the whole colouring job, and it absolutely did it. So let's consider the yellow cells again. We've definitely got 4 in yellow, so that's a 4. We've got this digit, which is either 8 or 9, must appear somewhere here. This one is 3 or 9, could be the same. Actually, it's still not really unwindable, I don't think. So I better look at some lines. Yes, this line has 7, 8 on it there, so that's a 9. That's going to give me 8. I didn't need to colour 9s and 8s. That's an 8. 8 is a yellow digit, so that's an 8. This is the other yellow digit, is 3 or 9. There's an 8 up here somewhere. Now I get to do all kinds of X-winging. 8 there and 8 there means we've used up the 8s in columns 5 and 6. That puts 8 down here. 8 there and 8 there means we've used up the 8s in rows 8 and 9. So we get to put 8 in one of those cells. Wonderful, isn't it? I don't know what else that does. Let's look at this. I don't know, this line's... The 3 most central lines are almost complete. Let's look at this one, 5, 8, 4, 1, 2. So these are from 3, 6, 7, 9, and they must include 6 and 7. Well, the 7 has to be there, not here. The 6 now has to be here. That's 3 or 9, and that's the other of 3 or 9. They both see this cell, which makes it 1 or 2, but there's a 2 in the column, so that's a naked 1. This is 2 in the row. I'm a bit surprised. I still don't know. I do know the identity of the third yellow digit because of these 2 3s. So that makes that a 3 by Sudoku. The third yellow digit is a 9. 4, 8, 9 are the 3 yellow digits. And thank you, Yellow. You did a sterling job for a long time in this puzzle, but your work here is done. This is a 3, 5, 7 triple with 1 removed in each case. 9, 4, 8, 1 is placed in box 6. This is a 6, 3 pair because of this. This is now a 2, 5, 7 triple. I must be able to write the lot in. I can. Now I can do the 3 at the top of the puzzle. 5, 3, 7. That 9 looks into the central box. This is a very neat puzzle, isn't it? It's so clever. This is an 8, 9 pair. I've got 1, 2, 6, 5 to place down here. I can probably do something there. Let's just pencil mark them in for now. 5, oh, 6 I can place. I can't do the other one. That's surprising. Right, along here we have, this is a naked 6. It sees 7, 4, 3, 2, 9, 5 in the row, 1, 8 in the column. Then I can fill in 1 and 8. That 6 looks up to the top row and finishes it. This is a naked 3, given that it sees all the other Sudoku digits in its row and column. 2 and 7 go in here. That's not allowed to be a 5. We've got 9 and 8 to place in the row. Now let's just have one quick look at this line. It needs a 2 and a 5 on, so we can do that by line logic. That's probably the final bit of line logic I will need. 6 and 4 here. 4 and 9 here. That's sorting out all my remaining bits and bobs across the puzzle. Right, 5 and 7 in this row. And the last 2 cells are a 3 not in the corner and a 2 that finishes the puzzle. That is lovely. It's a really clever puzzle. Thin Blue Lines by Tavaritz. I commend it to you. And thank you, Tavaritz, for sending it. A very interesting idea. And a little bit mind-warpy, in my view, for my mind. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon on the channel. It's always a pleasure to have you with us, and bye for now.